Howdy, friends and floorheads. Happy Thursday. Turns out to be Call of Cthulhu night, one-on-one Call of Cthulhu with my good buddy Nick. Nick, how are you?
Fantastic. Now that it's Thursday night.
So, trying to think. Let's do a quick, very short recap, or at least let's go over the setting and then we'll jump right in. So, for those of you that have missed episode 1, I highly recommend you watch it. But this is 1920s, 1921. We currently are in Brooklyn, New York, and Nick is a reporter. He currently lives with his friend Lucas and his ex-girlfriend, but also good friend now, Anna. And right before we left off, he went to the bagel shop just down around the corner and picked up himself a bagel, picked up Lucas's bagel, and then made sure to pick up Anna's favorite bagel with lox, as she loves it. And he heads back. It's Saturday morning. And Curtis, you open up the door to your brownstone, and it's kind of a half story climb up to where the actual room is, where the actual living area is. And it's a 2-story brownstone, and you unlock the door, you open up the door, and when you had left, both Anna and Lucas had gone into Lucas's room. And when you open up the door, the rail car shaped brownstone goes straight back, and on the right hand side you can see the stairs that lead up to the second floor, and that's where your bedroom is and where Anna's bedroom is. And just like a lot of those rail car brownstones, you have to go to one room through the other room through the other room. So the in the back is where Lucas's room is. The door is still closed as you walk in, and you close the door, drop your keys on the counter. You've got your bag with the bagels inside, and it startles you a little bit because the door to Lucas's room flies open, and Anna steps out. And Anna looks the same way she did when you left. Her hair's the same way. She's wearing the same outfit, casual. But Curtis, there's something different. There's just an aura about her, and it immediately takes you back to when you first met her and fell for her immediately. It takes you back to the feeling you had when you called your mom up a week later and said, "Mom, I think I might have met the one." There's something about her. So I think the only way to get things started is with a roll. So can you give me a POW roll?
A pow roll.
It's gonna be right up towards the top on your stats.
Stats. Pow. There it is. Let's see what happens.
This is a measure of willpower and things like that. So we got a 79 from a 50% POW. The feeling's almost overwhelming, Curtis, as you walk in. In fact, you stop in your tracks. And she's blocking the door, so you really can't see behind her. And she says, "Curtis, darling, you're back. How are you? We missed you."
Uh, uh, Hi, Anna. Bagels?
Oh,
Bagels?
that's right. You went to get us bagels. I appreciate it. And she steps out. You now see Lucas coming out of the bedroom. He seems um anxious when you look at him. She just elegantly moves across the floor towards you, Curtis, and says, "Darlings, it's been a lovely morning. I wish I could stay, but this is an important day. The audition is later on, and I am feeling good. I am excited about this. In fact, I'm going to go have lunch with Emily, and her and I are going to talk about a few things, and really kind of get ready. And I want her to be ready for what's going to happen next, because I'm confident this is going to happen." And the bagels, right? She reaches in, she grabs the bag from you. And Curtis, there's a level of like she would always in this scenario she would ask you, "Hon, can I?" Curtis, can I have the bag? She grabs it out of your hand and she reaches in, she looks in, she pulls out her bagel, she unwraps it, she looks at it, and she goes, I think I'm just gonna get a croissant or something, and she stuffs it back in the bag, pushes it back to you. "Boys, I'm leaving." Lucas stops. "Anna, you can't go. You can't. Anna, get back in here." She turns around, Curtis, and looks at him, and you see his body language change. "Lucas, dear, I'm going to have lunch." Yeah. Of course, Anna. Of course. Yeah, yeah. Have a great time. You deserve that. You deserve that. She turns around. She kind of taps you on the shoulder, and she's on her way out.
Uh, uh, Anna, do you need company?
No,
It,
no,
it won't.
sweetie. No, 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 no. I'm fine. It's just Emily and I, girls things, girls things. We're gonna have some lunch. I'll meet you back here, and I'll head off to the audition. I don't know if you and Lucas want to show up. You guys are welcome to take a separate car. But no, I'm off, honey.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good luck. We'll see you at the audition.
Door
And
slams. She's gone.
Curtis is like in awe of so many things right now. Right. He immediately looks over to Lucas. Do you recognize a difference in Anna? Like, what happened? What'd you feed her?
Um. Yeah. She left. She's gone. Oh Jesus. Um. Oh crap. I.
Lucas, what's going on?
Um. Oh boy. You look over his shoulder, Curtis, and you can see into his room, and you see the bed, the kind of the foot of the bed through the door, and you see the box that you had opened, and you can see the box open, and you can see that silken lavender bag that the mask was in that you had pulled out. You see it empty, draped over the edge of the box. Um, yeah, Curtis, give me a minute. I'm just, I gotta go back in my room and I'll be just a second.
Okay. I'm not going to follow him because I've learned my lesson, but I'm going to let him do his thing and put up the bagels and stay busy. Wait for him.
So he goes into his room, kind of closes the door. Um, you're in the brownstone by yourself, or at least in that front room by yourself.
Hmm. Uh, Being kind of awkward, waiting, and no, nothing. I'm going to go. Lucas.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, give me just a second. And he opens up the door. Yeah, buddy. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, man. Sorry again about like last night, and um, just I've been under a lot of pressure. Dad's giving me a bunch of garbage. Just a lot going on. I remember the gallery. I brought all my work there, and they have no interest in showing any of my stuff. And dude, I just really had I just a terrible week, and then I was tipped off with that crazy person that came to the party last night, and was really hoping that party would be good for Anna. And I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lucas, it's all good, bud. I overstepped my boundary, and I think tensions were elevated. It is what it is. But I got to know what's going on with Anna.
Um, yeah. I don't know. I guess she's excited about about the thing. And she said she was coming back, right? After lunch.
Yeah, but uh,
What time do you figure that would be, right? Like she can't be having lunch with Emily for more than an hour or two, right?
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but you do recognize her demeanor had changed. substantially. That's not like Anna. Actually,
Well,
rewind. Is that like Anna in my experience with? Okay, good. I'm on the right track. Um, that wasn't typical Anna. Like, did you sneak some of the opium from the madam's house, or what's going on? Actually, can I do
no.
a smell roll or something?
um, no. We're gonna need a roll.
Yeah. Uh, would psychology be applicable here with trying to see if there's
Yeah, I'd be okay with a psychology roll. You're on a roll, buddy.
how much luck do I have?
S so
No.
96, for a 50% psychology. Um, Now you have a 50% psychology, so there's a certain level of aptitude you have. So even when you fail a
Mhm.
roll, you're gonna get something. And as much as it seemed like Anna had changed from when you went to go get the bagels, from when you came back to get the bagels, something's something's different about Lucas too. Um, and I think what really struck you the most was how he switched on a dime when confronted by Anna. He was this kind of for the last 3 or 4 days. He's had this kind of strange, agitated, aggressive behavior, very much like his father. Right, reminds you of his father, and he just became, you know, just submissive almost immediately in the face of Anna. You hear some keys in the door, the front door, and the door flies open. And standing there, even though physically he doesn't take up the doorway. He's not a small man, but he's not a huge man either. He has a presence. And you turn and see Lucas's father, and it's Peter Reston. Lucas, and you're kind of blocking Lucas and Lucas. Oh, Dad. Um, yeah, I didn't know you were coming over. Well, I own this place. I feel I can come here anytime I'd like. Uh, Charlie, I need to talk to my son or Curtis. Curtis, right?
Yep, Miss Reston, not a problem. Go up to my room.
So before and this is typical, he barely acknowledges that you breathe the same air that he does. You see him walk up to Lucas and he goes, "Did you get the package? Madame assured me it was going to be delivered this morning." Um, uh, yeah, Dad. And he grabs Lucas's face, like right like this, Nick. He just grabs it like this and squeezes and he lifts his face up and he's looking at like his neck and his jawline and he goes, "Where is it?" Um, but I don't know what you mean, Dad. He goes, "I told you when it arrived, I wanted you to put it on." Yeah, Dad. Anna took it. She did what? One thing. I pull strings for you over and over again, Lucas. I get this for you. This was your last chance. And now you're just telling me you just gave it to that girl? And he just kind of shoves Lucas away and walks back into like the main area of the room. And he looks at you, Curtis. He goes, "I'm tired of you milking me." And he turns to Lucas and he goes, "I'm tired of you milking me. This is it. Enough. No more freebies. Your little dream of being an artist, over. You're moving back into the house by the end of this week. He turns to you, Curtis, and goes, your ass is out of here by the end of this week. It's over, Lucas. This little fantasy world that you've been living in is done. Come to the house tonight and bring it. He storms out. And Curtis, you look at Lucas, and though you've never seen this level of interaction between him and his father, you also know there's nobody that can strip him down faster, nobody that can tear him down faster. And he is stripped bare in front of you right now, emotionally. Just almost looks like a 12-year-old child. I'm sorry, Curtis.
Lucas, like, what the heck just happened? I mean, for so many things just happened. But first off, what did you give to Anna?
I don't really know. So, my dad told me that there is something I'm supposed to get. That the Madame de Tasson was going to give me something, and he said I would know what to do with it when I got it. And then the package that was delivered this morning, I took it into my room, and there's like a bunch of papers in it, a bunch of Chinese symbols and stuff, and this weird note. And inside, I knew it was from Madame Tisson because it was a mask like she had on her walls. And it had symbols on the inside of it, and I don't. I mean, my dad said I would know what to do with it, but like the inside of it, man, was like had this weird. It felt like almost stickiness to it, and so I was looking at it, and I had set it down, and then when Anna came in, I wanted to like, talk to her in private, tell her how sorry it was about last night and stuff, and she saw it and was just like, "Oh my god, that's so beautiful," and it was. It's a beautiful the front of the mask is like this pure, like, almost ivory porcelain, thing. It had these weird black teeth, though, and next thing I know, she looked at the inside and she said, "Oh, blood." And then it was weird, man. Her, like, eyes glazed over a little bit, and I saw her take her fingernail and cut her finger. And she touched the writing inside and put the mask on. Um, I don't know how to explain this, dude. Like the mask disappeared. Like she put it on her face and then it was gone. And then she left. Um, and dad, I mean, I was supposed to go to dad's and give it to him. And I figured, dude, I have no idea what the hell's going on, man. I don't know why dad wanted me to have the mask. Oh God, I don't know what's going on.
Lucas, first things first, we got to do what we got to do to protect Anna. Um, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was off with her demeanor when she left. I can't believe I just let her go. Um, do we know where she's having lunch with Emily? Can you contact Emily? Do you have a way of figuring this out?
Um,
I mean, you hired her.
yeah, I mean, my dad did, yeah, but, I don't know, maybe the cafe, over by the river, maybe? I mean, I know that she loves going there. Do you wanna try that?
Let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Uh, you, you mentioned this mask. Was that in that bag that I had uh, this morning from the
Yeah,
delivery
yeah,
boy?
man, come here, and he opens up his door and he opens up his bureau, the top drawer of his bureau, and he pulls out the box, opens it up, the papers, the 2 papers that you found in there, they had the 2 sets of Chinese writing on them, and then the
Mhm.
note, that was written in English. He opens it up, you see those notes, and you see the empty velvet bag. He goes, "Yeah, man, it's all right here. Should we take it with us?"
Yeah, put it in your pocket.
There's no way it could fit in his pocket. Like, it's like the size
Oh,
of
it's a
a hat box,
gotcha. Okay.
and
Let's
it's like
let's
this
grab the
really
papers.
heavy wood.
Gotcha. Let's take the bag and the papers at least.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, okay, and he
let's
grabs
just
the paper, stuffs them in the bag, and puts his jacket on and puts it in the pocket of his jacket.
all right.
I guess we could walk there. Do you just wanna
Yeah, let's get going. But Lucas, I appreciate you coming clean on this because that we both know that Anna's very important to us, and uh, you're important to me too. Let's figure this out together. We'll get through this. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Okay.
Yeah, and I think maybe if we can just get the mask back and just give it to my dad and,
Sounds
um,
good to me.
be done with it.
Quicker that we can be done with it, the better.
Yeah, okay, alright. So
So
let's
yeah.
cut to the 2 of you guys leaving,
Yep.
out on the streets of Brooklyn, and, go couple blocks north, couple blocks, west, and, there's a, sidewalk cafe, and it's a little, little early for lunch, so there's a whole bunch of empty tables, but you do see sitting at a table, you see Anna sitting there. He's drinking coffee or tea or something, and from behind you can see Emily from behind her. You immediately recognize her.
Uh, I think we're just gonna approach. Uh, See if we is there a table next to him that maybe we can sit down and have a conversation?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's grab a
Oh,
seat and
Curtis, Lucas. Oh, I, I, I didn't realize you guys were hungry.
yeah,
Yeah, Emily and I are just kind of game planning for tonight. But yeah, if you guys want to sit, and
yeah.
Just
Actually,
so you know, physically, Lucas is just dejected. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, I'm gonna say, ladies, yeah, definitely would love to join you if we're welcome. But I'm sorry, Emily, I've got to borrow Anna just for a second. Anna, can I talk to you real quick?
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Curtis, doesn't she look amazing?
she absolutely does. So, yeah, am I one on one with Anna yet?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to. I want
oh,
to get.
sure, Curtis. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So, Anna, what happened with this mask? Are you
Mass.
familiar?
Not sure what you're talking about, Curtis.
I'm gonna try to see if I can see something on her neck, like without grabbing her, like Peter did
Well,
to.
here's what I'm thinking. It's definitely gonna be a spot hidden, but I think by what you witnessed with Peter, the way he handled Lucas, I think that you get a bonus die because I think you know what you're looking for vaguely and kind of where to look because it's going to be, similar to where Peter looked, right?
Yep.
So go ahead and do a spot hidden with a bonus die for me. There we go.
Nice.
25. So, all right. You not touching her or anything. And, I guess kind of talking to her, slightly distracted. She immediately, um, as soon as there's a break in the conversation at all, Curtis, she starts talking about the song she's thinking about. I'm thinking of maybe doing some old, doing some, classical orchestra pieces, and, really kind of show my range. And as she's talking, you notice a slight discoloration, almost like it's not a scar, 'cause it's not exactly the tone of her skin, and it almost feels like when you move your head just a little bit, like you don't see it, then you kinda see it, but there's a line that goes along her jaw from ear to ear. Curtis, I'm talking to you, sweetie.
Yeah, Anna, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have something on your cheek right here. Let me get it for you. I'm going to attempt to try to feel what this thing I'm seeing is.
So you put your hand on it, kind of running your hand where this line appears to be, and she's taken back for a second because I don't know. That's a level of physical contact the two of you haven't had in a while. And she kind of startles back. She's not stopping you, and you feel, and there's no indication of any. You can't feel this thing that you can kind of see. There's not like a change in tone or texture or anything.
I think I'm just gonna play it off for now. Like, oh, I got it. No worries, Anna. Anna, are you feeling ready for tonight? Are you
Oh,
is Anna helping you get
I think
prepared
this is it.
for
I think this is
Emily?
it, Curtis. I don't know if I've ever felt better. I know I think Emily, as soon as I sat down, she said, "Anna, like, you're like a different person." And I just think that, overnight, I just must have, maybe what happened last night kinda shook me out of it a little bit, but everything you've always told me, Curtis, of how talented I am and how powerful my voice can be and my presence on stage, and you know how you've told me, like, once I start singing it's almost like I'm a different person. I think that I think I can feel that even without singing, and yeah, I think it's going to go well, and 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 if I get this audition, I mean, I'll be touring all over the country, all over the world with Nancy's orchestra, and just think of what's possible. All these dreams that I've had. Yeah, I'm excited, and um, you're going to be there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Real quick, Craig, is Curtis feeling the same sense of like overwhelming passion or when I first saw her come out of that room?
You do have the same feeling, Curtis, but here's what's a little different. Where there was no questioning that feeling that you had in the brownstone, I feel like all of this new information you've had has reframed this feeling a little bit for you, right? And so you have the feelings, but there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance happening at the same time, where I think there's a part of your brain, Curtis, that realizes something's changed, whereas you did not have that feeling when you saw her, when she burst out of the bedroom.
Yeah. Um, all right. Anna, well, you know that Lucas and I have all the confidence in you. If you're okay with us, just
Does he seem okay to you?
he had a fight with his father. He'll talk to you later about it. It was rough to be there for it, but
He's such an
I think
ass.
we all need to chat as soon as you're done with your meeting with Emily. So, what are your plans after this, Anna?
I
Or
was gonna go back to the brownstone. Emily and I were I told Emily I wanted to buy maybe some clothes for tonight. So I think we might do a little bit of shopping, but then head back to the brownstone maybe an hour or two before the audition, and then head over. Um, but
yeah,
Curtis, I'm happy to go talk to Lucas's dad. I don't like the way he treats him, and I think maybe tonight after the audition, or maybe tomorrow, maybe you and I should go and talk to him, because you know we've seen him, the way he treats Lucas, and I don't know. I like to see what I mean. Look, and you look over at Lucas, and he's kind of small talking and just physically slouched and talking to Emily.
yeah,
I hate that he has that power over him.
yeah. It's not right. It's not right. And let's get through one step at a time. Let's get you through this audition, get you hired for the orchestra, and then we'll tackle uh, uh, his dad. So you know what? I think I'm going to grab Lucas and we're going to go run an errand. And how about we meet you back at the house after you're done?
That sounds fantastic. And so she kind of heads back towards Emily. And the one thing I'm going to say here, Curtis, is the entire idea of Anna confronting anybody, let alone Lucas's dad, Like if at this point Curtis did not think something was going on, now he knows. That is so out of character for her.
Mhm.
She would she wouldn't confront somebody if they gave her the wrong change at the grocery store. She would just let it
Gotcha.
go.
Gotcha. Something's definitely up. All right. Yeah. As soon as we see Lucas, let's go ahead and uh, uh, take a break. We'll meet up with Anna. Kind of insisting we'll meet up with Anna afterward. She meets back at the house.
Um, uh, okay.
Yeah.
And he kinda comes over to you and he goes, "I thought we were gonna
Yeah.
kinda
I got a plan,
get him
Lucas. Yeah. Let's.
back to
Yeah.
you think she's okay?"
Yeah. 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 Am I in earshot of Anna right now?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna say, hey, uh, I've got another idea. I think she's fine for now. Um, let's look into what these notes mean. I don't suppose you know Chinese or um, uh, maybe we can get that looked at and evaluated.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Who, and he's kinda walking with you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are there
I mean
phone books like at payphones in the 20s? This is a
oh,
dumb
yeah,
question, but I wasn't.
sure, sure. And there's not, like, really payphones on the street. You could but if you go to I mean, phones are so rare that, most shops that would have one would say, "Hey, can I use your phone?" And they'd be, "Okay," or, "Can I"
Gotcha.
um, and as he's walking, he goes, "So the only thing I can think of is, one of my dad's other clients, Professor Neinart." Oh, you met Professor last night. Remember
Yes.
yeah, that taught at Columbia. He teaches Far Eastern Studies at Columbia. Madame Titasson. I think she knows Chinese.
Let's
Maybe
go.
I don't know.
Let's go talk to the professor. Let's see if we can't. Let's go to Columbia and see if we can't get a little more information on this mask.
So it's Saturday, as a reminder.
Eef. Uh, maybe let's duck in and try to find a phone book, or go to a phone and we can connect with the operator and try
Sure.
to get connected to Professor Niner.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say we duck into a shop, maybe a tailor shop, and um the tailor knows Lucas, and he says, Mr. Reston, how are you? Do you need a new suit? And Lucas says, No, no. Um uh uh Davis, could we bother you for the phone? No, of course. And he kind of puts the phone up there in front of you, and he goes, Do you want me to call? What?
No, I'll call. I'll call. Pick it up, operator.
Yeah. And it's a hey, 1920s operator. And you give the name, and she oh 7007, of course, and it
Yeah.
connects. Ring, 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 ring. Picks up and goes, oh, good morning.
Uh,
Hello.
yeah. Hi, Professor. Uh, this is Curtis Ellison. We met at Madame's party uh,
Curtis
yesterday.
Ellison.
From Brooklyn.
Oh, yes, of course, of course, of course. Yes, yes, yes. I hope you and the young lady are okay. That was quite an ordeal last night.
Yeah, yeah. More the young lady than I, but we're doing just fine.
Everybody's okay.
Actually, everybody's good, and for what it's worth, Anna was her name, and she's ready for her audition tonight. So
That's
we're
right.
getting.
That's the Madame Titasol mentioned she's a singer, an up and comer. I hope my conversation that I was having with Mr. Takuda didn't make you too nervous last night. I kind of drag you into that. But of course, if you wish to talk about communism some more, I'm happy to discuss it.
You know what? I'd love to take a rain check on that, Professor, but I come here with an ulterior motive. I'm in need of some help and some guidance. I was wondering if you're available for a quick visit or to meet me somewhere. I'm in the city.
Ooh, Um, Yeah, you know what? What time is it? Yeah, you know what? Excuse me. Yeah, you know what? I had to go by the office in about an hour or so. If you just want to meet me at the office, it's right on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know exactly where to go. I'll be there in an hour.
Great. It's the history building, 127. Um,
127.
by all means, yeah, and happy to help. And of course, if you were to mention to Mr. Reston, that I was of assistance. That's always nice. It's always good for Peter to know that I'm being, helpful to people that are important to him.
Absolutely. I'll make sure Mr. Reston gets the good word.
Cheerio, then. Talk to you then.
Alrighty. Click. Uh, yeah, I look over to uh, Lucas. Say, Lucas, it went well. We got to get to Columbia. Stat.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
uh, Professor's willing to meet with us. Need to be there within the hour.
And
Good.
he like thanks, thanks, Davis. Appreciate it. I got some suit. I'll bring my suits by to clean, and he kind of rushes out and um starting to get his feet back under him a little bit. It looks like Lucas is, just takes a little bit more initiative, which is a little bit more kind of his what you're used to, right?
Mhm.
Comes out flagging a yellow cab. Cab pulls up. Um, yep, headed Manhattan, Columbia, and he hops in the car.
All right. Lucas, how you feeling, bud? I could tell you're getting back to your old self. Or
Um,
how you thinking right now?
I don't know what to think. Like I feel like maybe I should have looked maybe like if she had the mask in her purse, like did she steal? I don't, Curtis, I don't understand. Like 1 minute the mask was there, it was on her face, and then it was gone. And now she's acting weird. Um, Dad wants us out of the apartment out of the brownstone by we got a week. Um, I don't know,
Here's the
man.
deal. Here, Lucas, we'll figure out getting out of this brownstone as if we need to. We're not there yet, but for now, I could tell that Anna was. There's something weird with that mask that Anna's wearing it. Like it's physically on her. I saw a noticeable uh, distinction on her face, on her jawline that led me to believe that, and I couldn't help but notice when your dad grabbed you. He was looking for something on your neck. I mean, I couldn't.
He did like
I put two and two together.
he did grab me. Do you think maybe
Yeah,
he thought I was wearing the mask?
yeah, and
What
uh,
kind
uh,
of effed up mask is this?
I don't know. I don't know, Lucas, but it's completely changed her demeanor. Um, for now, I don't sense any major trouble. I don't want to wreck her opportunity with mingling with Emily right now, which is why I thought getting over and doing a little look into this mask and the notes that are left behind. Um, it's we'll be able to catch her whenever she gets back to the house, just us, and we can really talk to her and figure out where she's at with this because there's something going on. There's really something going wrong.
I feel like you always bail me out, man. Like you're always there. And even though I'm can be such an ass to you, like I don't even know why you do this.
I'm gonna kind of put my hand on the back of his neck and just say, "Brothers fight too, brother. Brothers fight," and just leave it at that.
Okay. Okay. So let's smash cut to the cab dropping you off on campus, and you head right to the history building, 127. The doors ajar, and our professor sitting behind the desk, oddly in the same clothes that he was wearing last night. um, Looks somewhat disheveled a little bit. And he's kind of got stacks of papers on his desk. And as you walk in to his office, it just has that smell of old books and of paper, right? You know, that very distinct smell. And disheveled describes him, but I think fails to describe his office, where you immediately can recognize on the bookshelves the books are at least two deep. They're spine out vertically. Then there's another row spine out vertically. There's books stacked in between. It's just books absolutely everywhere. There are two windows on either side of his desk that look out over the main quad, but they are like books almost obscure it the way that they're stacked. And he's there looking, and he looks up and he goes, "Oh, Lucas, good to see you. Good to see you, Lucas, and Curtis."
Curtis from Brooklyn. I'm gonna go over there and start shaking his hand.
He stands up and shakes his hand. He goes, "Please, please sit." And there's two chairs on his other desk. And so you said you needed something.
Yeah, I signal to Lucas and kind of say, "Grab that note for me." Uh, yeah, Professor, we found this note. I'd like to get your thoughts on it at first glance, and so try to hand that to him.
So if you remember, Nick, there was two notes. There was the one on top of the box. So when you undid the paper, it was kind of laying on top of the box, and it had the kanji Chinese characters on it. And then there was another note that was on the velvet or the lavender silk sack. So I don't know if you're going to hand them both to him, one or the other. What are you thinking?
Just the Chinese letters to see if he's able to translate that for us.
Well, I guess what I'm saying, there's 3 notes
Kanji.
total, the one in English, and then there was the 2 with the Chinese kanji symbols. So you had one with the
Oh, there's
symbols
two.
outside of the box, one that was inside of the box.
Let's do the one on the outside first. Not show them both at the same time. Just hand him
Sure.
one.
So he takes this and he looks at it and he goes, "Where where did you get this? The calligraphy on it is it's incredible." And he smells it and he goes, Where is this from?"
Uh, I to be honest, Professor, I didn't want to ask uh, Peter uh, where this was from. I kind of acted as if I knew. So I'm really hoping that you might be able to help me with this.
"Oh,
Your
oh,
guess is best as mine.
this is a favor for Peter."
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm sorry. Please don't tell him I asked where he got it.
Fair enough.
So he puts it down and he goes, "Yeah, this is odd. Uh, so this isn't even Mandarin or any form. This is kanji. This is very very old. And the individual symbols have meaning, but you know as with all of or many of the languages in the Far East, it's how they are interacting with each other that also matters, the context. So a symbol might mean one thing by itself, but you're surrounded by other symbols, and they influence each other, like people influence each other. But yes, interesting. It says, so this symbol here, and he kind of points to the first symbol. He goes, "This is could be front or potentially face." um or it could be like image, so what you put forth, what you show. Then he looks at the next symbol, he goes, "Now this is hunger or um to give, to want, really kind of depends." And goes down, and this is this series of symbols here is interesting. It is it's it could be want. It could be, oh boy, this notice this character here, the way whoever painted this is incredible. Yeah, so together, and pardon me, I'm doing the best I can. So much of this language is interpretive. It's so You could bring this to a native speaker, or there's I don't know if there's any native speakers left alive, but you could bring it to somebody who specializes in languages far better than I do, and they might do this. But as best as I can tell, it is, and I'm paraphrasing and translating as best as I can, but the face feeds desires to bring desire. And just so you know that this feeds could be double meaning. So it could be that the face is feeding the want, or the face is taking. It could be either way, but I guess from a larger sense, I have no idea what this is about. This is it's very, very odd.
No, I appreciate that, Professor. I've got one more for you. It was kind of in series next to this
Oh,
note. Yeah, there's
my
another one. I handed over to him.
my God, you have two of these. Well, I can looking at it, I can tell it was definitely painted by the same hand. And he smells it and he goes, "Yeah, it's a newer ink though. These aren't old. Here, and he hands you the one he just read. He goes, "Here, let me put this down." And this is simpler, but similar. You'll notice the same symbol here for want or give or feed. That's the same symbol, but again with a context. Um, okay, so I'm going to do the best I can. Um, Feed the desire where, and it's hard for me to tell whether this is wear like clothing, or if it is wear like an expression. There's all kinds of potential meanings here, but feed for desire, wear for what's desired. I've got to be honest with you. Both of these are incredibly cryptic, and I'm not even sure this is a correct translation. Um, and I apologize to Peter that by all please to tell Mr. Reston that this is the best I could do. I could potentially next week lean on the language studies. I've got a couple of friends in language studies that could do far better translations than I could.
Oh no, Professor, no, this helps out tremendously. And I greatly appreciate this. Uh, what do you know about the masks that are at Madame's house? Or have you seen her mask collection and how
Oh my god,
many she had?
yeah, of course, it's legendary. It's legendary. Her collection is legendary of, um, I mean, you saw them. I don't I what
Yes. Uh, these notes were tied to a mask, from what I understand. Would that change what this translation would mean?
oh, that's interesting. Well, I will tell you that the use of face and wear here, thinking about it in context of masks, it could be referencing a covering of the face, or a mask, honestly, depending on how you interpret it. And again, that's why context is so important, right? So yes, that if these could be about masks, uh, I will tell you, Madame Tisson, she might understand this better than I would, especially if these notes are hers. But uh, yeah, yes. So yes, you telling me, they're tied to her mask collection potentially, that you could interpret this that has something to do with masks. She has, and just so you know, that's maybe half of her collection. She's a voracious collector.
Oh my god.
I know that she keeps many in storage. I believe she also has a wall in her bedroom of masks. I don't get a sense that this is about a particular mask, though. And you said these are hers, or these are Mr. Reston's? I'm
Rest
confused.
Mr. Reston's.
So I don't understand the connection to Madame de Tussauds.
No, no, I just saw all of the masks at Madame's house. That's all. That's all.
Okay. Well, here you go. Is there anything else I can?
Uh, Lucas, do you have any questions for Professor?
He leans forward and he says, "Professor, is there things about Madame de Tussauds we should know about?" Professor kind of taken aback and goes, "Lucas, I'm not sure I understand the question. You have She is a very well respected woman, and no, I mean, no, I'm taken a little bit aback. I must say that, quite frankly, if you were anybody but a Reston, I would think I might be offended by your tone."
Could I be able to roll to see if he's being honest about that? Or am I even worried about that?
Yeah, I don't think you need to roll. I think that you can tell that he holds her in respect, right? So he's obviously defending her status in front of Lucas. And you also get a feeling that he definitely doesn't see Lucas like he sees his father. So if he definitely doesn't necessarily recognize Lucas as being in any way equivalent to the
Okay,
respect he obviously gives to his father. So
gotcha,
I don't need a I don't think you need a roll for that.
gotcha. I immediately stand up, and say, "Professor, thank you for your time. You've been a huge help. Um, we'll be on our way."
Yes. I Do you know if Peters wants to sell those? I'd be in the market for both pieces.
Professor, I will give a good recommendation, if for you to buy these if they are for sale.
Tell him to just call Sally. She should be back at the front office on Monday, and just tell him to call Sally, and he and I can meet and we can work it out. But I would be interested in those pieces.
Sounds great. Again, thank you again for your time, Professor.
So the two of you walk out into the hallway.
Uh, Lucas, it sounds like those notes kind of paint a pretty clear picture about Anna's demeanor change. Question is how the
I don't know what you mean.
did, he clearly said that, or not clearly. The professor mentioned that the mask feeds desires to bring desires, and then
What does
feed
that
the
even mean?
desire where what's desired. Well, Anna is wanting to be a star. She wants to share her voice with the world, and I
Curtis,
believe this mask
what
is
are you
helping her.
helping her? What are you even talking about?
That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going off of what he said. The notes said, and these notes were found with that mask that appears to be adhered to her face in a
Wh-
weird way and invisible.
what do you think this means then? And he pulls out the note in English and hands it to you. And can you remind everybody what it said?
Note in English.
Do you have it handy, or if not, I can bring it up.
Yeah. It is best to make decisions quickly. You have until tonight. Price is high, but it is worth it.
Curtis, none of this makes sense.
Um, wow. Craig, you
Do you
threw me
think
for a loop right there. Holy
do you
shit.
think that she's like I don't think like so dad was mad. I think dad wanted me to wear the mask. And I can't imagine that he would have me like the price is high. I can't would he ever put me in danger like that? I know I frustrate him and stuff, but he still wants to pass the firm over to me at some point, and I have no desire to run Reston Chuba and Smith, but um, I can't imagine he would hurt me. But like, do you think? And I didn't get a vibe from the Madame de Descent that she would try to hurt. I don't understand this. With the price is high, and what does this mean for Anna?
I have no idea. Do you think it's worth visiting Madame and asking and being honest with her about what's happened?
Um, I mean, we could try, I guess. Without us without us having a calling card. It's not like she's having a party, but if look,
Yeah.
if you think Anna's in do you think Anna's in trouble?
I think we need to get this off of her as soon as possible. This is not the Anna we know.
What do you mean get it
Um,
off of her? I don't understand.
Lucas, I believe that this mask is fixed to her face right now. Uh, uh, you
Dude,
said
I
that there
only
was a mask in that bag, right?
Yeah.
And then it disappeared?
Yeah, 1 minute she patted on her face and then it was gone. I figured I just must have blinked or something and she put it in her pocket, but you think she's wearing it?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe she's wearing it. Physically saw something on her face that kinda bent the light around the jawline. There was a noticeable change in color around her jawline.
And that's what dad looked at,
Exactly,
and he's kinda
exactly.
holding it, doing this.
I think she's wearing it, which is based on these notes, might might explain why she is so overly confident and gracious, and
Okay,
would I say she glides like Madame right now?
no, but there
Okay,
was
okay.
there's a confidence, right? So there is, but it doesn't seem it's a great question, Nick. It's not the same, uh, there's obviously, part of what I think made Madame so charming was just this oblivious confidence that she had, right, as she floated around the room. But no, you don't get a Madame de Tussauds vibe from Anna.
Okay, okay.
So I mean, I guess we could go to the hotel if you want. It's not many blocks from here.
Yeah, let's go do that, and let's just try to poke around. Let's not give too much information because I don't want Anna in more danger, um, or any more danger than she might already be in. So let's be very selective on what we say and how we say it to Madame.
So you guys head over to the Ansonia Hotel, which is, if you remember, is this beautiful hotel where Madame Tussauds has the penthouse that she rents the hotel, the whole floor of the hotel, right? And you walk in, and um, the doorman doesn't stop you, um, but he does kind of shoot you the "you don't belong here" look a little bit. But he opens the door for you, and you come into the lobby, and um, it's a beautiful, beautiful hotel. And it's kind of bustling. There's a lot of activity, and then, of course, there's the elevators are towards the back.
When we went up to the party, there was a elevator service guy, right? The doorman at the in the elevator, or
So, yeah,
was it
there
a
there was a
traditional
there was a
button
like, normally, somebody would be in the elevator to go up with you. You would have an attendant there, but,
attendant?
this
Yeah.
person was kind of, checking to make sure you were on the list, and he didn't ride up with you. But as you went in, he hit the button to make sure, you were headed to the penthouse, um, and, there. But yeah, but no, nobody rode up with
Gotcha.
you, but yeah, there was an elevator
Okay.
attendant.
Would it be polite or customary to go to like a front desk to see if Madame's available, or would it be go straight to the like? Is there a door to knock on at the penthouse if I was able to get the elevator to open at the penthouse, or does it
Yeah,
open up
yeah.
straight to her?
No, no, so the elevator takes you all the way up, and it takes you to kind of that foyer where,
Foyer.
right, remember, and normally in a hotel, you would have a hallway with many, many rooms, and I think what struck you last night is that it opened up, and it was just this foyer with 1 door.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay, cool. So I think I'm just gonna go straight to the back of the hotel to the elevators, and try to impose my way into the elevator and try to hit that penthouse button.
so a guy in a like a bellman's outfit, the definite uniform, kind of a suit with a little hat, and, "Can I help you, sir?"
Yeah, just here to see the madam. Just heading up to the penthouse.
"I'm sorry?
Yeah, the madam. I'm here to speak with the madam.
I don't know of her taking guests this morning, and she had quite an evening. Do you have a calling card? Do you
No, we were actually here last night when
Well, she had a
that
party
ruckus
last
happened.
night, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that William, he was working last night, and I'm sure that, you showed your invitation to go up, but it's a very completely different situation, sir. This is a private residence, and this is Madame Tisson's penthouse. So I'm sorry if you don't have a calling card from her. I don't feel comfortable, to just taking you up to her home.
Do you have a way of ringing her from here?
Oh, you're welcome to go to the front desk, and of course, if the front desk says it's okay, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll go ahead and go to the front desk. I apologize for imposing. I'm just gonna head over to the front
And
desk.
you're going to go dressed like this to see her? He's just kind of like pointing to your clothes.
uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna
Screw you,
ignore the
asshole.
yeah. Screw you, asshole. I kind of wish I had money for a tip. Like, gonna go. Oh, okay, never mind.
So you go to the front desk. There's a bit of a line, and finally comes up and, "Can I help you, sir?"
Yeah, I need you to ring the madam, please. I'm Curtis Ellison, and this is Lucas Reston. We're here to speak with her about the party last night.
And she's expecting you.
No, this is unexpected, but it is something of high importance that she'd appreciate uh, uh, being informed of immediately.
Okay, and this is you said you are, and he looks at you. You're Lucas Reston and a Curtis
Ellison.
Ellison. Okay,
Yeah.
one moment. So you see him step back, and there's an office behind this front desk counter, and goes in there and picks up the phone, and he's kind of standing there, and he's got the earpiece to his head. You don't see him saying anything. He hangs up and he comes back out and goes, "I'm sorry, gentlemen, but there's no answer at Miss Tisson's residence. She has not left this morning, so I assume she is sleeping. Um, so I don't know if you're here to work on her apartment, maybe you're a handyman or something, but I don't know if she's taking any callers at this point."
You mind ringing her again? I kind of nudged to Lucas and try to give some money to the guy. It's of the utmost importance that we speak to her immediately.
So you slide uh, money on, you put the money on the counter, and let's say it's more money than you're used to tipping. Um, and this guy looks down at it and he goes, "Oh." And Lucas immediately puts his hand on top of yours and kind of covers the money and kind of pushes it back. And he goes, "She is a client of my father's, Peter Reston." Oh, you're Peter's son, Mr. Reston's son? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I apologize. Um, yes, of course. Yeah, yeah, I'd be happy to ring her again. Happy, happy. So again, you see him go to the back and obviously making a call. I'm so sorry, Mr. Reston, but the madame is sleeping, or not taking calls. I'm not quite sure what to tell you. And Lucas kind of shoots you a look for, like, should I? Kind of look on his face. And he
Yeah,
turns and he
I give
goes,
the universal sign of yeah.
I'm here by direction of my father. Now, if you'd like, you have two choices, sir. You can allow my friend and I to go up there and to check on her after this traumatic evening she had last night, or I'm happy to call my father and let him know that you are preventing me from seeing one of his clients. Oh, no, 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 of course, of course. Uh, yes, I can't send you up unattended, though, of course. And he kind of he's looking to you like, is that okay? Just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, no, oh, yes, yes, yeah. Have the attendant go up with us. And so he kind of makes a hand signal over to the attendant, and the attendant kind of or comes over and goes, I'd like you to take Mr. Reston and his friend here to take him up to the residence, and I want you to make sure that the madame, you greet the madame and explain who's here, and that if she's willing to accept visitors, and uh and if she isn't, I wish you to bring them back down immediately. Yeah, of course, of course, of course. So the three of you walk over. The attendant lets you two into the elevator first. Then he walks in. He puts a key in the elevator and hits the penthouse and kind of cranks the door closed, and it's and the elevator's going up. And he's got his back to you as he's just kind of facing and looking up. And he goes, "Were you guys at the party last night?"
Yeah, we were. That's why we're heading back up.
So my buddy got fired last night.
What happened?
So the one time he goes to take a break, and that crazy person with a knife takes the elevator. And and Madame Tissason wouldn't even let us call the police or anything, but William got fired. Can I ask you guys a favor?
Yeah, what's that?
Can and I mean, this might be way out of bounds, but if it comes up, could you ask Miss Tisson if, like, it really wasn't William's fault, and maybe if she could put the word in, and maybe he could get his job back. He's got a family, for crying out loud, and he had just stepped away for a moment.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name?
Yeah, what's your
Uh,
name, bud?
I'm Sam, and William's the one that was fired. My friend William.
William. All right. Uh, you know what, Sam? I'll make you a deal. If we get the opportunity to talk to Madame this morning, I'll try to put in a good word for William. But Sam, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to need some privacy to talk to Madam. You're going to have to wait on this elevator.
Well, let me knock on the door.
That sounds fair.
So, ding! You guys reach the top floor and cranks the door open, and there's the foyer again. And you walk out, and the faint smell of that smoke is still up here on that top floor that really overtook your senses last night. But other than that, looks very similar. There's no windows in this foyer, so you can't tell if it's different from last night or this morning. The same beautiful decor. A new set of live flowers is on the small table there in the foyer. Um, and Samuel walks out, and he stops and kind of stops you before you can fully get out of the elevator. And you look, and you can see what made him stop, and that is that her door isn't closed. Uh, that he kind of looks to you, and he's like, um, that's that's not normal. If she had left, she would have closed it, and we would have seen her. There's unless and he kind of points to the small door. That's obviously a fire escape of some sort. He goes, and she would never use the fire escape. We're 30 stories up. Um, and he kind of starts walking towards the door.
Sam, hold on, hold on, hold on.
What? What?
We don't know what's going on here. You said that she did not come downstairs, and
Uh,
she wouldn't have
no,
used
but,
the.
we like we should check to see if she's okay, right?
Yeah,
Here, you guys wait
but
here,
not
okay?
you, but not you, Sam. How big is Sam? Is Sam a little guy, big
Oh,
guy,
the little guy.
little guy? Sam, uh, Lucas and I can handle ourselves way more than you can with what we saw last night. Let us walk in first and see if everything's okay. Just stay behind us and and
Um, I feel like I should call the police.
hold tight. We don't know if we need the police yet, and we just start walking our way towards the door and
And he's
see what
he's
we see.
compliant. So he's just kind of he waits by the door as you walk up to the front door.
Okay, so kind of get through that threshold and see lay of the
So you
land.
you push through. Not that Madame Tisson would ever clean up after herself. But it also doesn't look like she cleaned up after the party, or when I say her, I mean the staff, right? It's empty. I don't know if you got a sense last night if these are live-in staff or these are brought-in staff that were serving drinks and things like that. So the fact that it's empty in that way, I don't know if that is completely unexpected. Um, there was a commotion last night. There was a couple pieces that were broken. I don't know if you have a full inventory in your head of what pieces were broken by this man with a knife last night. But you see a couple of the vases broken on the ground if you remember, she had these little pedestal tables all around this main living area. But from where you can see, everything looks relatively the same. The curtains are closed. The smell of that tobacco and opium is still in the air, but you can tell that nobody was smoking this morning, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you can take in from the door frame.
Can I hear anything? Is there any kind of wrestling footsteps, music, an alarm, I don't, anything? Um, I'm not going to scream it or yell it at the top of my lungs, but kind of, Madame, are you here?
Hey, is
Uh,
everything okay? You can hear from the elevator.
hold on, Scooter. No, Sam. Um,
He's forever going to be Scooter from the Muppets now in my
he's
head.
Scooter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Changing notes to Scooter. Um, uh, I'm going to walk into that main area, and just kind of get a look around without opening doors just yet because I don't want to put my nose in too far. But I'm going to get nosy and just start looking around for dead bodies or sleeping people or God knows what else.
What do you think, we're playing Call of Cthulhu?
I know, right? Yeah,
So you
tentacles.
look around, and like I said, it's the apartment is not in good shape, but I think it's very difficult based off of the amount of people that were in here last night, the level of drinking that was happening. You guys left before the party was over, and the whole commotion that occurred, which looking back on it was like pretty crazy shit, right? Like a madman comes in with a knife and takes her to Madame talks him into the back room, and she comes out and says he smoked too much opium and let's let the party continue. So all of that being said, Curtis, I don't know if anything looks necessarily out of place. Um, Lucas is like this place looks like hell.
Um, yeah. First off, why is nobody here? Second, why is the door wide open? Um, this isn't making sense.
Man, I don't. I think we should. I think we should go call somebody, man. I'm getting a bad feeling.
Um, let's take a little bit closer of a look, Lucas. We have an
You're a
opportunity to.
reporter.
Yeah, I've got to see what's going on here. If you want, go make sure Sam doesn't go or Scooter doesn't go downstairs and start calling cops just yet. How about you hang out in the main threshold between the foyer
Yeah, but
and the
I'm gonna. I want to keep an eye on you though, Curtis. I'm just gonna be at the door, man. I don't.
that works. That works. But
Okay.
make sure Scooter doesn't ditch us. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he kind of steps out and he goes, You stay right there, Sam." And he's like, "Well, really think we should." Lucas becomes assertive Lucas again with him, right, and kind of puts him in
Yeah.
his place. Um, and he kind of motions to the door. This is the door that he went through last night, if you remember, Lucas did. And
Yeah.
he goes, that that's the bedroom suite. So, uh, like you probably
Y-
should knock.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, thank you, Lucas. And I start tiptoeing my way around, trying to. I don't think fingerprints are an issue in 1920s, but try not to touch anything. Madam, are you okay? Hello?
You knock, and I think you didn't realize the door was unlatched. So you hit, and it just kind of, and you didn't push it open, right? You just knocked, and you can tell that the door was not latched.
Kind of nudge it, push it forward, and
So you
look in.
push it forward, and I don't know what Madame Tussauds does for a living or did for a living or what, but I mean, this bedroom suite is almost a third of the size of this apartment, and like you're taken quite aback. Because I don't know if you just expected an apartment like yours, or a bedroom like yours, but it's just like, yeah, this is bigger than both floors of the brownstone in Brooklyn. And as you push it open, the same lavish decor and love of art that is obvious from how she decorates the main room of this apartment extends into the bedroom. Um, you see another wall of masks on the left hand wall, similar styles as what is in the main room there that she showed you around the hallway there. You see this a makeup stand, right, where she would sit and put on her makeup with a tri mirror there. You can see the end of a canopy bed from where you're standing, and I mean, like, looks like she's still in bed. Though you can't. It's around. You have to kind of go in and around the corner to see her, but you can see, feet under the covers from where
Yeah.
you are right now.
As I'm slowly tiptoeing forward, Madam, Madam, it's Curtis from Brooklyn. Are you okay? Madam.
So you keep saying something, you don't hear any answer. And as you kind of work your way in, and I'm imagining your voice getting a little louder as you're getting no
Mhm.
reaction, no reaction. I hope I don't see her naked, um, don't necessarily want to startle her. You come around and sheets completely cover whoever's in bed.
I'm peeling those covers back. Slowly reach over and Madam, try to see a face of some kind.
So you put your hand on the top of where the covers are, which is well over whoever's in bed, well over the head. And you start to peel it back. And this happens all very quickly. You pull it back and you immediately can see, as you peel back on her face, you can see her face. Her eyes are closed. She is not reacting to your voice whatsoever. And so you continue to kind of peel it back gingerly, realizing who it was, that she's there. She's probably sleeping. And then just blood. And it causes you to quickly pull the sheets back. And at first, it's hard to tell where it's all coming from, but all her neck is covered in blood, and there's just blood soaked into the sheets, and she's got a night dress on, so she was dressed to sleep, and it's soaked in blood, And as a reporter, you have seen crime scenes before, and she has a gash cut across her throat, and it is so time for a roll.
Oh shit. Okay.
I need a sand roll.
And how many bonus dice do I get to add?
None. Okay, 50% sanity, and you have failed, sir. So I need a 1d4. You can just do it right from the roller. All right, I need you
Sweet.
to go ahead and drop 3. Hey, thanks for the bits, Coda. Go ahead and drop your sand by 3 if you would.
And 47.
And then down at the very bottom there, is it tracking your daily sand?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's what you see.
Curtis's initial reaction is going to be to step back and try not to touch anything. Um, and I'm going to start looking around for another person in the room. Because I think my eyes have been focused on this bed the whole time, trying to. Is there anybody else in this apartment or this penthouse? Do I see any signs of somebody else? Tracks, traces. What do I see from getting the lay of the land once I'm in there?
So looking around the room, lavish art on the walls. This woman obviously is if I haven't established how wealthy she is yet, then I haven't done my job. Um, there's only one other door in this room, and it's kind of off to the kind of the back right of where you are. So you'd have to kind of go around the bed to get to it, and it opens in, and it's slightly ajar.
Are there any fireplace pokers or knives or mallets, something, a croquet stick, something, a
So
blunt object?
I'm thinking, Curtis, that this is the top floor in a penthouse suite. And I think there being a fireplace both in the main room and in this room is very reasonable. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, let's go ahead and have a poker there.
I'm gonna grab the poker, um, and, uh, I played baseball when I was a kid. I'm gonna slowly walk up to that door and kinda open it and slowly open it and see, if there's anybody in there.
So you start to push it open, and maybe it's a third of the way open, and you immediately recognize what this is a door to, because you can see a rack of clothing on the left. So it's obviously a closet. I don't think you've ever seen a walk-in closet before, right? So as you push this open, it is, it's not much smaller than the main room of the brownstone. And you open it up, and there are just clothes upon clothes just lining the walls. Two racks on the left wall, two racks on the right wall. You can see like an alcove to the right of this walk-in where there is almost like another closet that you can see there's just shoes lined in shelves. Some are still even in boxes that you can see. And I think the other probably most notable thing is a very large wooden chest. And when I say large, I mean this thing is at least goes up to about mid thigh on you, and it's all the way in the back, and I'm not sure it would have stood out except for the fact that it's not closed, right? So I want you to imagine kind of like a treasure chest, right? Except the lid's not closed, the lid is slightly open, right? So it's not wide open, but for some reason it's not closed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's gonna look awkward enough that I'm gonna be nosy while I'm looking for a perp inside there anyway. And once I tell it's safe, I'm gonna try to prop that thing open just a little further and see what I see.
So you work your way to the back of the closet to this chest, and there's a smell, and it's not a normal smell. But I don't believe Curtis would be able to put his finger on it necessarily. And give me a sense of what we're going to do. Are we just going to open this? I need to understand exactly how we're going to handle this. If you could be
Uh,
specific.
so specifically, I think with that poker, being that it has like a blunt or a kind of a pointy end and it has a little hook on it, I'm going to kind of get that crevice in there, and I'm going to try to prop it up with that and lift up that lid with the edge of the fireplace poker because I don't want to leave signs that I've been
Sure.
tampering around and whatnot.
So you kind of hook the thing, and it easily lifts up, though you can feel the weight of this chest. And as you're lifting it, I think a half second before you lift it, I think you notice um, clothes have been strewn about it on the floor around it, almost like it was emptied, right? So unlike everything else being neat and tidy and hung, there's just clothing strewn about to the left and to the right of this thing as you start to open it, and you see somebody's back. And as you're looking at it, you realize it's like somebody was maybe on their hands and elbows, kind of covering their head, maybe, and just kind of like tucked in here. And seeing like as this person's back, where this person's back arches, into their into their waist, into their butt. Um, that's probably why this thing wasn't closing.
I'm going to try to get that top to support itself all the way on the back and try to poke this person to
Yeah,
see if it's alive.
there's leather straps that allow you to open this all the way, and as soon as it reaches, the straps go taut, right, keeping it from fully falling the other direction. And you take a look, and you can see a shirt. This person is wearing a shirt, and it is dirty, and it's caked in dirt and no roll. But the last time you saw somebody in a white shirt caked in dirt was last night.
I'm going to check to see if he's alive.
S-
Hey,
You poking them?
I'm poking him. Not hard to cut skin, but I'm going to start poking him.
No reaction.
Oh no, the character wouldn't do that. It's like, what if he's hiding something at the bottom? I'm gonna have to take a step back from this. This is too much for Curtis to deal with. Is there anything of note in that chest, on the chest? Any markings? Uh, any identifying
No,
anything?
you are seeing some blood up around his head, up against the inside of the chest. So not
Okay.
on him, but and it's not all caked in blood everywhere, but you see some blood, on the side of the interior of the chest where his head is.
Can I see anything? Is there any gaps in on the sides of him or in front of him, between his neck and his head, or anything like that that I might be able to see what might be below? Try to get a even closer look, or
So just kind of leaning forward a little bit and kind of really almost getting over the chest a little bit in order to really look
Mhm.
at this. The answer is no, and I think it's because of the weird angle his neck's in, and I think that that's when you realize, like, I don't know if he fits in this chest,
Yeah,
but he's in there.
he was stuffed. Um, all right, I'm gonna bring that lid back down where it was, and take a step out of this closet. Um, Around Madam's bed, uh, is there anything of note? Uh, uh, Actually, particularly the gash on her neck. I'm almost curious if it's at the similar jawline that maybe a mask would have been
So it
yanked
definitely
off.
is not, right?
Okay,
So in
so
no way does it match the line that you saw on Anna's face, and now that you're on the other side of the bed, coming back to her, seeing immediately looking, right? Like, that's a natural thing. It's like, was she cut here? No, she was gashed, violently gashed open here on her neck, which explains the amount of blood, and it's just soaked. The sheets are soaked. And at the foot of the bed, now that you're on the other side, you see a long katana sword, also caked in blood on the floor.
katana sword. I will not be picking that up. Um, I'd like to examine it from just hovering over it. Is there any markings? Is there anything of note? Is there a name on it? I don't know.
So, I don't think by any stretch of the imagination, I don't get the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong, like you're a weapons expert or
Mm-mm.
a Far Eastern expert. I don't think we have anything on in Curtis's history that would give that. But um, take a look at your sheet, though. Do you think there's anything that we could use that potentially could get us a little bit more information about this sword?
Um,
Is there any kind of history, maybe, or
my history is low, but I got a hell of an intelligence stat. Um,
I'll take an intelligence roll.
okay. Um, Chalk it up to experience and things I just picked up over time.
You do have a high intelligence. You're a smart dude. You got a 75% intelligence. That's what the professor has. So, despite the fact that by no means are you an expert in any of those things that we talked about, you're not an idiot. In fact, you're an incredibly intelligent and perceptive person. Might explain why, this has been the right field for you, and maybe why you pursued investigative reporting and, you um the big takeaway for you is this is an old sword. Old as an antique. Um, the markings on it, and it's in pristine condition. So despite being old, it is well cared for. And with that intelligence score, we're not going to roll for this. You do remember there being some weapons on the wall in the main room when she gave you the tour.
Mhm. Uh, Yeah, I'm gonna take a step back and before I go and let everybody know what I've seen, I want to go check this weapons room to see if it is the one missing. Maybe there's a missing spot on the wall. Maybe there's more. I'd also like to check out the wall of masks. Actually, you said there was masks in the bedroom, right?
Yep.
Is there any
Does
noticeable
not
missing masks?
appear to be.
Okay, so like to go out and go to the
So you go to the main room, you look to your left, and you didn't count the masks, but you do remember the mask being in a very specific pattern, right? That they were lined up very, very purposefully. And you do a quick glance, and though you didn't count the masks last night, you would notice if the pattern was broken, if there was a mask missing and there is not. But you look off to your right to the wall where you did see some of the weapons, and you see some of the swords that you saw there. There were uh, some old farming um, tools that the madame explained to you last night were often used by peasants for weapons, and they're very much collector items. And you remember distinctly because you just got done looking at the sword. You remember there was two swords in a scabbard that were sheathed that were crossed up on the wall, and you see one of them and an empty scabbard crossed against it, and the handle of the other one matches the handle of the sword that you found in the bedroom.
gotcha. Um,
Everything all right? He sees you walk because he's still at the door. Lucas is. So he sees you kind of walk in and kind of check out the room. Is she
yeah,
in there?
yeah. I'm gonna go walk to Lucas. I'm not gonna say this too loud. Lucas, the madam's dead. Um,
What?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
We need to alert the
what do
authorities.
you, and he kind of pushes past you and is heading to the bedroom.
Uh, I'm gonna follow him. Make sure he doesn't rifle around too much. Um, uh,
So he
try
walks
to
in
keep
and he
the
immediately he kind of like is now super conscious, right, of his surroundings. And he turns, he goes, is this how you found her? He's like in a half whisper.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Did you look in there? And he points to the closet.
yeah, don't go in there, Lucas.
What do you mean, don't go in there? And he starts walking that way.
Stop. I grabbed him. I say, Remember the guy that barged in last night and
Is he in
screaming at
there?
everybody? He's stuffed into a chest. He's dead. He's stuffed into a chest in there. You don't want to see this.
Did
It's
you
not something that you want to expose yourself to.
How do you know he's dead? Did he like I mean, it's obviously she's dead. How do you know he's dead?
I saw he didn't react when I poked him and there was blood at his head and in the chest. Uh,
Um, did he kill her?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm afraid of digging too much in this and being blamed for this crime. Something happened here. You see that sword there on the ground?
Yeah,
Um,
and she's wearing her nightdress, so it must
yeah,
have happened while she was already in bed.
yeah. And that sword used to be up in the wall out in the main room on the weapons wall.
This doesn't make any sense, man. Why like, would she go to bed with that crazy guy here? This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Did he come back? And did he kill her and then stuff him Curtis, this doesn't make any sense.
Lucas, we need to get out of here. We can't be caught up in this.
Dude,
We have to be there for
we're caught up
Anna.
in this. We just found a body. 2 It sounds like 2 bodies.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
we
need to
can't
get out of here.
Alright, yeah, and he's following you.
Um, I imagine there's rooms I have not checked in this house.
Correct. So
Let's find out.
there's just so you know, from what you saw, there was a very large catering kitchen that was in there. There was the bathroom that you
Mhm.
saw. Not even even at this income level, not crazy for there to be only one bathroom, especially as large as that bathroom was.
Yeah.
Um, but and
Uh,
yeah, there was like a dining area you saw off the kitchen when you were there, but
if anything, I would motion to Lucas just to let's. I haven't finished looking in the apartment to see if there's anybody else here. Let me look real quick, and uh, I'll slowly kind of maze through and see if I see anything
so
obscure or
yeah,
anybody.
you look in the kitchen, nothing too descript. You go into the bathroom though, and the sink, there's a bloody towel next to it, and you can see blood splatter around the edge of the sink.
Sink. Is there any blood going down the hallway or out the door? And
So,
this is a
like,
large
the inner
bathroom.
part of the sink is clean, right? But there's a blood-stained towel next to it, and you can see, like, little blood splattered around the edge of the sink, though the inside of the sink is clean.
Gotcha. Does this have like stalls in this bathroom, like a regular
There
bathroom?
are 2 toilets, there's no stalls.
Gotcha. So they're open. Is there
And a
doors to
huge
them?
shower. No.
No.
No, you can
Okay.
see
So
the entire bathroom.
the entire bathroom. Okay.
Maybe there's a linen closet, but it's there's no door on it. So there's
Gotcha.
towels that are folded very
Yeah.
neatly in the linen closet.
Lucas, somebody cleaned up after themselves. We got to keep looking here. There might be somebody still here in this apartment. Uh,
What are we gonna tell Sam? Like, should I tell the bellboy to, like, go get the cops? Like, I don't wanna like, do you have any blood on you?
I don't know. Check me.
So he looks on you, and I mean, there is some on your shoes. And being anywhere near that bed, that was inevitable. It doesn't look like you killed anybody.
Okay. Good. 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 Yeah, I'm not too worried about Sam right now. Let's make sure we're all right. Let's see what's going on here, because this has something to do with these masks, with what happened last night, and just things have been so weird.
Dude, this doesn't make sense. So, like, you're saying somebody cleaned themselves up. So that would have been after she's dead.
After she's dead.
And now you're telling me the other guy's dead. And when we left last night, she took him into the room and then came back out. Like, what I don't understand is, like, her going back to bed last night with him in the room.
Do you think she killed him and then went to bed like it was nothing? You think she's capable of something like that? What do you know of this, madam?
God, I don't like, uh, you met her. Like, she's just this rich, never had a problem in the world woman. I don't know. Um, I, I'm going to go look at him.
If you insist. If you insist.
I mean, do you think that's a bad idea? But like, something's not adding up. Like, you're the reporter, dude.
Something's
Like,
not
this
adding up at
doesn't add
all.
up, right?
No, it doesn't add up. My concern is that we get called out for doing this when we have nothing to do with it. But you're right. We we need to figure out what's going on. Nothing's adding up here. Um, so I'm going to follow Lucas and let him kind of lead down the hallway.
So he goes back into Madame Tussauds Tussauds, that's funny. Tussauds room, and goes into the closet, and he kind of stops because he sees this guy's back in this now open thing, and he goes, and like, did you poke him?
Yeah, I poked him.
And he looks down at your right hand where you've got the poker still, and he goes, I'm gonna lift him up, and if he so much as winks at you, you hit him.
Okay.
So he kind of tentatively walks up to this chest, making sure that you are his shadow as he does this. And he looks at you and he puts his hand kind of on the back of this guy's shirt, right around the collar, kind of like lift him up like he's a puppy, right? And he kind of looks to you for kind of like, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. He's back there just ready.
And Lucas lifts up, and you can tell Lucas kind of underestimated how heavy a dead body is. And he kind of lifts up, and he lifts up, and the way the head kind of reorients itself and falls, this guy's dead, right? Lifts up, and kind of as the front of his shoulders clear the chest, you see the back of his head, you see the ears, and they're covered in blood. And I think you might be expecting, maybe, a wound on his neck, maybe, or you're expecting maybe a lot of blood coming out of his mouth, or bloody nose, maybe. I don't think you expect this though, which is the end of the flesh. Because as he lifts him up, you see that his flesh stops here. And you see the tendons. And as he lifts up, you realize that all the flesh around his face is gone. You can see the streaks of the fat cells in his cheeks and the muscle tendons that cover and run in vertical lines all around that shape the face. You see a little bit of the bone exposed of his chin. You see his eyeballs still in the socket. You see the cartilage of his nose is gone, so it's like a skeleton's frame. And he lifts up and he goes, "Holy shit!" And he just drops immediately. Sand roll.
I don't want to.
So maybe you're coming a little hard into this, or maybe it's, piecing together, but you're okay. So just drop one sand for me.
Just one.
Yep.
Okay.
Where does that put you on your daily?
4.
And what's the cap on your daily?
It doesn't have a cap on the daily.
It
It just
doesn't.
says 4 of 0 right now.
What is in your total sand is what?
Uh, it was at 50 of 99.
Okay, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. Oh, maybe that's 100. No. Well, whatever. Um,
He drops, you hear thud, and the forehead hits because remember his head was stuffed in this thing. As he drops it, the forehead hits the edge of the inside. So now this guy is like this with his head propped and his neck in this unnatural thing, the head propped against the edge of the chest. And now like completely unnatural, just like with his back. And the arm came up and kind of is flopping out. of the chest itself, and he is stunned. Lucas is frozen. Just as he didn't pass a stand roll. What the fuck, dude?
Oh, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't.
His
I have
face
no
is
clue.
gone. That's what's going on. He has no
Uh,
face.
Lucas, get out to Scooter immediately. Get the cops here. Get somebody here to figure out what the fuck's going on. Go talk to Sam. Get out of this room.
And he heads out. Are you going behind him? Or you staying there?
I'm gonna wait a second. Now that this guy's kind of ajar, um, I'd like to look in a little closer to see if there's anything of notice on him. Maybe if there's any a wallet, a pocket, uh, uh, I don't know his name on the bottom of his shoe, like Toy Story. I don't know something. Is there anything that I see of him being ajar or with a little bit of finagling that I might be able to get that
So
might be
let's do a
worthwhile?
quick spot hidden, and
Okay.
let's go over what you see. And again, ooh, wow, nice. Okay. So you're able to quickly pick up a lot. His pockets are inside out, right? So either he or somebody else emptied his pockets and turned the pockets of his trousers inside out. The top few buttons, as you can see on his shirt, are broken off. And from where you are, you don't see any buttons. And I think the other big thing you notice with that uh, successful roll is the edging, and it's not clean. So it looks like torn paper, the edging of the flesh.
Uh, Seeing what I see, I'm going to get out of this room. I'm going to. Do I notice any? I'm going to look around for the buttons to see if there's a room in this house that has buttons on the ground that.
I don't think I'm going to make you roll for this. As you step out, because you're being very deliberate, right? There's a very specific. Hold on one second. Thought I was going to sneeze and I didn't. Um, you're looking for something very specific, and I'm going to have you find 3 of those buttons by the makeup counter on the floor.
That makeup
And
counter.
yeah, where she was doing her makeup, and you also see some smeared small splats of blood around that area as well. It's separate from all of the blood that you saw by the bed. And there's even a little bit of blood on one of the buttons. And as you're kind of
Um,
peering through, you can kind of see through from your door in the bedroom all the way straight back to the front door. And you can see Lucas is just kind of standing there, just kind of waiting for you and just laser focused on you.
yeah. One second. I'd like to look into this makeup counter a little bit more. Maybe open a few drawers.
So you pull open the top drawer and you see a bloodied letter opener.
Any insignia or any
Just
nothing?
like a
Just a
real, just like a really nice letter opener, and a letter opener for the young kids. There used to be mail. It was not uncommon for like basically it's shaped like a dagger or a knife, right? And it's
Mhm.
not sharp, but it's got a fashioned edge so that you could slide it into the lid of a letter and whoosh, and it would tear the paper, but you wouldn't necessarily, it's you couldn't cut a tomato with it.
Right.
but it was inside the top drawer.
Pretty deliberate. What- Close that door. Anything of note in any of the other drawers as I go through it? Um, I'd like to look at the wall of masks and see if I see any blood or any signs of chipping, prying, yelping, tearing.
No, nothing odd there.
Uh, Head out to the main hall, then the main room. There's another
So
mask
a
of
quick
walls.
time
Well,
check is you're about 3 hours away from when you're supposed to meet Anna back at at the brownstone before the audition. So just to keep track of time.
yep.
All right. So
Okay.
you leave the masks.
There's another wall of masks out in the main hall, right?
Yep.
I want to look at those as well, see if I
Same
see
thing.
anything.
It looks almost it looks literally as exactly as you remember it last night.
I'm gonna go out in the main foyer and get Lucas, figure out what he's done so far.
So Lucas is he's you can tell by the expression on his face that he's waiting to take your lead. And whether it's
Okay.
because he thinks you're a reporter and you see dead bodies all the time or whatever, I don't know, but and uncharacteristically, but it makes some sense. Like he is mentally not well right now. He is in an obvious shock. He's never been to a crime scene. It's very possible this is the only time he's ever seen a dead body, let alone two dead bodies, let alone a face torn off a man, off of a man. And I think he is deferring to you.
Okay.
You can tell Sam is anxious by the elevator. He can tell something's wrong with Lucas. And as soon as you pop up, like everybody's looking to you right now, Curtis.
Uh, get in the elevator, get downstairs. We got to call the authorities. And so I start
Uh,
pushing people in.
Yeah, 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 and Lucas gets in there and is everything okay, sir? Sir, is she okay? Is
Sam, and I start cranking the door closed, hitting buttons. Say, no, Sam, the madam's dead. That's a crime scene. We need to call somebody immediately. Get your manager. Get the authorities here ASAP. Hit that first floor. Put your key in. Get us downstairs now.
so he does that and the elevator starts to go down. And unless you say something, I don't think Sam or Lucas are saying anything. I think everybody is in shock. But if there's something you want to say before we get to the bottom floor, by all means, I don't want to rob you of that. But I don't see Sam or Lucas saying anything.
No, I have nothing worth mentioning at the moment.
Uh, you get to the bottom floor. Instinctively, Sam, out of reflex, cranks the door open, and he goes, "Are you going to?" Um, and he looks over you, and he goes, "You didn't kill her, did you?"
Sam, are you kidding me? Of course not. No,
Okay, okay,
no, no. You would have heard something. You would have saw something. The
yeah,
door was
yeah,
wide open.
yeah,
No, no,
okay,
no.
okay. Um, I guess go tell Mr. Johnson. Points to the person at the front desk.
Uh, I go. I beeline it with Lucas to Mr. Johnson. Uh,
He's helping somebody check in to the hotel. Yes, of course, madam. And how many nights will you be staying?
Mr. Johnson, I need a moment of your time now. I'm sorry.
I'm
Uh,
busy, sir. One moment.
this is an emergency about your penthouse guest. I need to
Oh,
talk to you privately.
I'll be back in just a moment. And he kind of walks to the end, where there's not anybody, to the end of the counter, and he goes, "Is everything okay?"
Mr. Johnson, you have a situation up in the penthouse. Sam took us upstairs. The door was ajar. Uh, the madam's been murdered. There's blood
I'm
everywhere.
sorry.
Uh, 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 Sam. I call Sam in wherever he's
He,
at.
yeah, he's not that far behind, but he hasn't said word, and he's just like,
He, Sam can attest. He saw the door was ajar. We went in slowly to see if everything was okay. Lucas and I found the madam in her bed, murdered. You need to call the authorities.
so he immediately grabs your wrists and kind of forces your hands towards him. He looks at your hands and he flips them over, and he kind of tosses them to the side, and he grabs the wrists of Lucas and pulls them towards him and looks, and there is some blood on Lucas's hands, which makes sense because kind of how he handled that body. And he holds him and he goes, "None of you leave anywhere, especially you," looking straight at Lucas. And he flags someone's over and he goes, "Call the police." And he won't let go of Lucas.
I don't think I'm going to act on that.
So Lucas is like, "What? Sir, unhand me. Let me go." He goes, "No. You have got blood on your hands. I have been told there's been a murder upstairs. You are staying right here. And you are staying here as well, sir." Looks at you.
Mr. Johnson, we came to you. We're not we're not any trouble. We'll gladly stay here
"You
while
can
while
have
we
this
wait.
conversation with the police, sir, but I'm saying that neither of you are leaving, especially this gentleman here.
Well, Mr.
Mr.
Johnson, you can take your
Mr.
hands
Reston,
off him. He clearly has an issue with it.
Mr. Reston, I, 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 the two of you come back to the back office until the police get here. This is not a request.
I look at Lucas for some sort of visual
Dude,
sign of what he
Lucas
wants
is
to do.
useless right now. Like Lucas is working strictly off of instinct at this point, and he is
All right.
definitely deferring to you.
Uh, I step in front of Mr. Johnson. I say, "Take your hands off of my friend, and I will escort Lucas to the back." He's clearly in shock, Mr. Johnson.
So he lets go of him and he makes a gesture to the doorman who's up at the very front, and the doorman is coming. And so he's kind of like wants to, like, all of you go to the back office.
Yeah, we'll I'll oblige and get Lucas back there, assuming that he takes his hands off him.
He closes the door, leaving the two of you in there alone. I'm not, I can't go to jail. We got to call my father.
Um, is there a phone in this office by any means? No. Um, I'm gonna check the door. Is it? I'm assuming it's locked, but it's unlocked. S- Quietly open it and see.
Doorman is right there. Sir, get
Uh,
back in the room.
uh,
The police should be here any minute now.
Sounds good. I need you to get me a phone, please.
The police will be here soon, sir. And
I need a phone.
he's kind of pushing the door close, kind of trying to close the door on you.
I'm gonna
Unlike
take,
everybody else you've met, this guy is bigger than you.
yeah. I'm gonna try to keep my foot down and say, uh, uh, do you understand who this gentleman's dad is from the Reston
So
family?
what I understand is Mr. Johnson told me that the madame is dead, your friend has blood on his hands, and that the police should be here any minute now. So if you kindly, sir, you can explain to the police who everybody is. But I need you to get back in the room, and it should be just a few minutes. Please.
Uh, I'll back down for now.
So a few minutes pass. Three officers walk in the door. One guy who is obviously maybe a detective because he's not in a police uniform. and then two uniformed policemen. I want to start with names. He's got a pad of paper. Who are you?
Curtis Ellison,
Where do you live?
uh, Brownstone, Brooklyn.
And you are? And Lucas says, Lucas Reston. I live same address. That's where I live. How do the two of you know the deceased?
Uh, uh, Detective, we were here last night. We met the, the madame I met the madame for the first time last night. When there was that crazy incident. I don't know if you guys were called about it, but
Of course,
uh,
we were called. Yes, of course, we were called for that.
yeah, we were here last night, and that's when I first got introduced to the madam. And we came back today to ask a few questions.
Kind of flips the paper and he goes, "And why were you at the party?"
We were invited. A friend of ours was auditioning to sing.
And I'm sorry. So we were told that someone tried to get up to the apartment last night, and that we needed to put, and then we were called in to restrict who could go up there last night. But I don't know of an incident. So explain to me what you mean by the incident last night. We were just told that there was a bit of a disruption up at the party last night, and that we needed to restrict who could go up there, and to make sure everybody left safely. But nobody would talk to us. So maybe you can explain to me exactly what incident you're talking about.
Uh, yeah, there was a gentleman that came barging through the door. He kicked the f- the frame right off the door. And came with the knife, screaming and yelling some craziness. Um, the madam was eventually able to calm him down, but me and my
Did he
friends we
hurt
left.
anybody?
He pulled a knife to one of our friends.
And nobody called the police and told us to. Where is this man?
He's still up there, sir.
He's still up there? Did he attack you again? And he kind of goes to the cop and he goes,
So wait, hold on. He's in the closet, dead as well.
"You're telling me there's two bodies up there?"
There are two bodies up there.
Why did you come back to the apartment this morning? Did you have an
Uh,
appointment with Miss?
uh, no, no, we really came by to ask a question about some antiquities that she specializes in. We had a note that we wanted her advice on, and uh, uh, hoping to get an answer by tonight. And so we decided to stop by and see if we could uh, uh, ask her some questions. And the kind people at the hotel allowed us to go up with an escort. And Sam, the guy that's out there, Sam, he took us upstairs. And as soon as we got off the elevator, we noticed that the door was ajar. And we were very careful and concerned and worried, especially about what happened last night. And she wasn't answering her phone, and so we walked our way in to see if she was okay. And that's when we found her in that state, and found the body in the closet as well.
As you're saying that, one of the uniformed cops has kind of walked over to where Lucas is. And as you're engaged with him, he goes, "Sir." And both of you immediately snap your necks and look. And you can see he's got Lucas's hands grabbed by the wrist. He goes, "There's blood." This inspector, detective, whatever he is, turns to you and he goes, "I need you both to come down to the station."
Detective, we're gonna need you to call our lawyer.
You make all kinds of phone calls at the station. We're going to the station.
Fair enough.
We'll go to credits. We'll be right back on the other side. All right, we're gonna keep this probably shorter than we do most of our post credits because it's getting a little bit late. We've already been playing for 2.5 hours, but holy shit, that was fun.
That was fun. Oh my god. Oh my god. My mind is just spinning of all the
So
stuff going on.
I thought you asked some really interesting questions while the credits were going, Nick, and I kind of want to revisit it because I think people could value that. So one of the things that Nick was asking me is, should I be asking, for roles and things like that? And the thing I told Nick, and this is gives you a little insight of kind of how I GM a little bit. And this is the same thing I told Nick during the break is, um, and to be clear, I don't think this is the only way to do it. But I think if you've watched me, especially as I've grown in the last 2 years as a GM, because I've been running a lot of games, I think one of the things that I have decided that I like is I think I like it when the GM decides when the mechanics are invoked. Um, and I get a little bit of this from running Blades of the Dark, right? Because it's kind of explicit in Blades of the Dark and Empowered by the Apocalypse, where the GM calls for a role. So what I said to Nick is, I like it better if you tell me what you're doing and I'll tell you if we need a role versus, hey, Craig, can I use my psychology skill to do this? Versus, Craig, I want to tell if he's lying. And either I say, yeah, he is, right? Because we don't need a role. You've got a 50% psychology. Or I say, I think we do need a role. So, Nick, to answer your question again, that I answered during the break, I liked the way we were handling it, which is where let's just play. Let's
Yeah.
just play. And then if I feel we need a role, do it. Now, the only thing I will preface that with, or but that with, is um, I think it's okay also for a player. I like it when a player says, I'm going to look here. And I think that the fact that I'm a really good reporter or the fact, so I think that you can, as you're describing what you're doing, can also put some parentheses and brackets around that as well to both explain your motivations and also remind yourself and the GM, or if there was more people playing, like this is what I do, right? Or
Mhm.
I've got a high intellect score. I'm a smart person, and but you already do that, Nick. But that's the only thing I want to kind of rebut on that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Brian? I'm glad that you found it tense. That makes me happy, especially coming from you. Donald, I saw you in the chat. I hope that I know that horror is not your thing. But I thought you might like this, and I hope you did. And Dr. Loungewear, I'm glad you like this. Dr. Loungewear says that was an amazing episode, and my one of my favorite people to play games with, Shadika, says amazing job. And Nick, I think you did great, man. I think you really went next level on role playing.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out this investigative system without asking too many questions, and but making sure I cover, i- the investigative reporter that I am in character, but also them in Max or in person. I'm going to go, well, what's in the next drawer? And then what's in the next drawer? Are there drawers
Yeah,
next to that?
yeah,
What
and
about the
that's
trash
smart.
can?
Yeah, that's smart. I think that that's very, very smart. And again, it's very well in character. I think that if you were a mobster, you would be handling this situation completely different, right? And I think that, I mean, obviously, you guys going down to the station today complicates things, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if Curtis would have done anything different. I really don't.
Yeah. For as much as I wanted to try to pry that mask off in the middle of that cafe on uh, 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 Anna, I don't know if he would have done that without knowing the consequence of it. And
Do you think you know what the
he's,
consequences of tearing the mask off are now?
yeah, yeah. So I think it was a good call on by not trying to use my personal letter opener. But yeah, so many things. Oh my god. Uh, the real loop that you threw me right out the gate. I just assumed that note about uh, what was it? It is best to make decisions quickly. You have until tonight. Price is high. I assume that Lucas knew what that meant, and he didn't, which was like,
No, I think
wait
we
a minute,
yeah, go ahead.
he doesn't.
No, I agree. I don't think Lucas knows what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think it's interesting that obviously the father was called for this thing for Madame de Tisson. Um, and I think he had an expectation that Lucas was going to be wearing the mask when he got there, which is interesting.
Mhm.
Um, the the crime scene is interesting, right? Because you've got someone cleaning up after themselves, and you've got her. Like, when did the madman with the knife die? Um, and did the madame know that he was dead? Was he there when she went back to bed? What did she do with him that night at the
Actually,
party?
I didn't even well, I guess one of his hands would have been out, but I almost wonder if he pried it off his own face because he wanted it off his face so badly.
Exactly.
That was the other thing. Like,
Yep.
did he do it himself, or did the madam stuff him in that damn chest the night before and went to bed knowing that that guy was buried in there?
I think we might have to do another session to find out. What do you think?
I think so. Let's see. What
So
am I
very quick,
doing
'cause
at
I
eight
know.
a.m. tomorrow?
Yeah, I hear
Uh,
you, man. Real quick though, before we wrap up, I do
yeah.
want to get hopes and wish stars and wishes. And well, I'll give you the star, you give me the star. But let's talk about wishes. So, what is and not Curtis's wishes. What are you wishing for, Nick, for the next session?
More of session 2? Like, I don't have anything, like, specific I want more of. I mean, all my questions answered. Like, I think we're on a really good pace right now. I'm
Good.
not lacking. I'm not deficient in anything right now. I think where we're going is a good trajectory. Um, I wanna know if I'm off the rail and royally screwed up already, but I won't know until I finish the session with you and or the the story. Um but yeah, like I'm second guessing everything, but committed to what I've already done and thought it was of character at least. And so I'm like,
Oh yeah,
okay, well,
no
no, that's
question.
of character. I gotta write that out, regardless of what that means, because this is like, I think this one on one is making Nick, the role player, uh, test his elements and really step up to the plate.
There's
Right?
nowhere to hide. I agree. You're doing a great
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
The only thing just to kind of set the stakes for next episode that I just want to throw out, and this is for is you and for the audience, is you are headed to the police station. You're effectively in custody, though you have not been arrested at this point. We're hours away from this audition, but more importantly, if there was if you weren't concerned about the mask, I think what you just saw in her apartment should make things crazy concerned about that mask and who's wearing it right now.
Who do I talk to about help on that? Like, I don't know how to remove masks. Well, I know how to remove a mask because one was removed once before, but without killing them. So,
Oh.
like,
So
ugh.
Brian says in the chat, this one-on-one session is a great exercise for player and GM. I recommend it to everyone. Me too, Brian. This is my first time doing it. And I love it. I have already like I've always wanted to run Knights Black Agent, which I think is a really neat world and a neat system. They have a collection of solo adventures for Knights Black Agent. And I think I'm going to do this again, and that might be what finally gets Knights on the table. Because that really gets it. And then Wookie Gunner says the feed desires to feed desires makes me wonder if Dad expected the mask to eat the son's artist desires to feed Dad's taking over the family business desire. That's very interesting, Donald. Like, and that's really a good question, which is why did Lucas's dad want him to wear this mask? And does that mean that the dad understands what this mask is? What was the dad's relationship with Madame de Tussauds? Like, there's a lot of unanswered questions. All right. Good seeing everybody. Like, subscribe, the whole thing. The reason we can do this is because of patrons. So if you're not a patron, consider doing it for $1 a month. And Nick, we got to look at calendars, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. And Blades coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're like 2 sleeps. So
2
Saturday,
sleep.
we return to Blades in the Dark. Well, you'll see a lot of familiar faces from Mothership. You'll see Nick there. You'll see Joe from Call of Cthulhu. You'll see Roman from who played in Blades and then also played in Star Wars. So a lot of faces that you're used to seeing here on the channel. I cannot wait to get back to Blades
Yep.
in the Dark. Take care,
Voslov?
everybody.
Isn't Voslov on it
And
too?
Vaslav too, yeah, from
Yes.
from Mothership. So